Hi, Lisa here again, working on week 3 of our yoga. So we've done a little bit of opening, a little bit of strength. Today we're gonna combine those. We're also gonna add in a little bit of balance. So as we move into the balancing postures, it is very common to fall, to drop your toes, your muscles are gonna shake, and that's okay. When our muscles shake, that means we're getting stronger, so embrace that shaking feeling. And if you fall, it gives you an opportunity to take a moment, take a breath, get back up. So as we move into these poses, you might want to find a spot on the floor in front of you, focus on that spot as you begin to come into your balancing posture. And yeah, just have some fun. Don't be too hard on yourself if you're falling, have a good time. We're gonna continue to work on more strength, more core, which everyone loves, and we'll just have a good time. Okay, moving into our first pose of week 3, we're gonna do dolphin. So dolphin is very similar to downward dog. We're gonna feel all the same lengthening of the hamstrings, pulling back of the shoulders, pressing the heart back toward the legs. However, we're gonna do this from our forearms rather than from our hands. So coming into tabletop to start, then we're gonna lower onto our forearms, and we wanna keep the forearms parallel to one another here. Elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Then we're gonna curl the toes under and lift the hips up and back. And then we're gonna want to shorten up our stance a little bit here. So walk those toes in a little bit closer to the face, just getting them as close as you can, continuing to draw your heels toward the mat. So notice if you're rocking your weight forward, we wanna send the hips back, send the shoulders back. Gaze is back at the toes, but not letting the head rest on the mat. You might shake your head here, release any tension from the neck. So really press your heart back, feel an opening in the chest. And this one's gonna burn in the shoulders, so breathe into that burning. You have got this. You are strong, keep pressing the earth away. Feel that stretch in the hamstrings. Okay, so time for some core. We're gonna do some plank. You may have done this before. It's really focusing on a lot of strength in the abdominal muscles, in the shoulders. So we're gonna start from a tabletop position. Hands are shoulder distance apart, right underneath the shoulders there. Fingers spread wide. And then we're gonna take a step back, one leg at a time. We're on the toes here. So making a long line from the heels right to the crown. So notice if your butt is sticking out. Notice if you're sinking into your belly. Can you tuck your tailbone under and engage your core and really create that long line? And often we begin to sink into our shoulders here. So we wanna feel like we're pressing the earth away from us. You almost round through the upper back a little bit. Gaze is between the palms, and you are strong as you breathe here. Remember to breathe. Maybe count your inhales and count your exhales. And if this is feeling like too much on the wrists, which it might, you can bring your elbows down to the earth, coming onto your forearms here. But we're gonna wanna keep that long line of energy in the body, lengthening from the heels to the crown. Engage your core. All right, coming into our warrior 3, so we're gonna add some balance now. So we're gonna start with the left leg. So facing the top of your mat, find about the middle of the mat. You've got a lot of space around you. Make sure you're not gonna kick anything. So we're gonna rock our weight into the left foot and come a little light on those right toes and just see how that feels to balance. Find a place on the ground to focus on and just see how it feels here, standing on just your left leg. Then when you're ready, hands come to heart center. We're gonna take a big inhale here to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, begin to hinge at the waist. So as we send that right foot backward, letting the chest fall forward, eventually coming into a capital T shape here. And so notice the back toes are flexed to the earth. That really powers up that back leg so we can lift it higher. Notice if that right hip is opening up. Can you roll it down to the mat? Hips and shoulders are square to the mat. Gaze is just at the top of the mat there, helping you bring balance to the body. Maybe taking another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge a little further. And just for some variation here, if you're looking for a little arm strength, reach those arms long in front of you. Spread the fingertips wide. Maybe you're looking for a little heart opener. Reach those arms down by your sides. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, feeling like you could squeeze a pencil between them. Lift the heart. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna work on our warrior 2. So we're gonna wanna take a wide stance here. So longer than hip distance apart, you'll find what feels good for your hips. Then you're gonna take that front foot and turn the toes to the top of your mat. So we want the front heel intersecting the arch of the back foot here. Arms come out to a T, palms face down, and when you're ready, bend into that front knee. So you want the knee to be stacked right over the ankle here, making a long line. And you might notice that your knee is falling in or splaying out. Try as best as you can to keep your knee stacked right over the ankle. Beautiful. So as you sink in, notice if your knee's coming forward here, you can always lengthen your stance. Wiggle those back toes back a little further. So there's a lot of power in Warrior Two. We want a lot of power in the lower body here. Really pressing the feet into the mat. You want to feel like you could tear your mat apart with your feet. Really ground in and feel that energy rise up through your body. Often we'll notice our shoulders start to creep up, so can you soften? Let them fall down. Lift the heart, lift the head. And maybe your gaze can come over those front fingertips, sinking in. When you're ready, you're gonna switch sides. I'll switch sides now just to demo the other side. So same thing, heel intersecting the arch of the back foot, sinking in. You might notice this side feels a little bit different. That is because often our hips are made really different side to side. So that's okay. One side will be a little tighter, one will be a little more open. Work with that. If this is your tighter side, feel free to back off a little bit. If it's your more open side, take advantage of that extra space. Really sink in. All right, coming into our triangle pose. So we're gonna take a wide stance with the feet. Front heel is going to intersect the arch of the back foot. Hips are facing forward. Arms are gonna come out to a T. Open up the palms. Here we're gonna take an inhale to reach those front fingertips as far forward as you can get them. On the exhale, we bring that right hand down. Left arm lifts high. So we're creating long lines here. Long lines from the right fingertips to the left, and a long line from the hips to the crown. So keep reaching the crown forward as you lift those left fingertips high. So there's lots of options here in triangle. You can keep your right hand resting on the inside edge of the leg. You might even place a little bit of weight here on the leg, but careful not to put it right on your knee. Lower on the shin, and just use that as an anchor to lift your heart, lift your gaze. Maybe your fingertips come to the earth, but that's only if you've got really long arms. So if that's not the case for you, that's okay. Maybe if you've got a block there, you can use that to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. Remember, we always want to be opening up the heart, not caving in here. Lift the gaze, lift the fingertips. Sink in. Okay, so coming into our last pose of week 3, we're gonna do head to knee. So we've done a lot of opening in the hips, a lot of stretching in the hamstrings, the inner thighs. So now we're gonna sink into all of that space that we've created. So we're gonna bend up the right knee, bring the sole of the foot to the inner edge of that left leg, and then spin the torso to face over that extended leg. As you lengthen your spine, we also want to flex those toes toward the face. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, with a lengthened spine, we hinge forward over that leg. So once you can't hinge any further, then maybe the hands come to the earth, maybe the shin, ankle, toes, it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you're feeling that stretch. So it's obvious that we're stretching the hamstring here, but we also want to really focus on stretching the right lower back. So can you focus on sending your breath in? Really feel that stretch on the inhale as you fill up. And as you exhale, can you sink a little bit further? Working with each breath to sink in here and find your new edge. All right, that concludes our week 3 of yoga. We're almost there, so keep working at it, keep practicing, have some fun with it. You're a yogi.